Hello and welcome back to the Generational Podcast. This is episode 53,
53.
and there has been a lot going on.
Oh
But first,
my.
I should introduce myself. My name is Owen.
And I'm Steven.
I'm the son,
And I'm the father.
and today there's a whole bunch of war and a lot of fear mongering going on.
Well, it's a lot of as Don King would say, skullduggery.
Skullduggery.
Skullduggery. There's a lot of
Woo!
skullduggery going on. There's a lot of propaganda. There's a lot of back deals and backdoor things going on.
Definitely.
I think that first off, let's say there doesn't, in my opinion, um, Joe Biden is a warmonger, and he's wanting to bankrupt this country one way or the other.
I agree. I mean, he's funded both Iran, which funds Palestine and Assad,
hmm
while on the other hand, we fund Israel, especially for their Iron Dome.
In
So
the
this
past,
is
yeah,
so this is a war that's being funded on both
both
sides.
sides.
So who are we supposed to represent? Who are we supposed to be alongside with?
It seems like we're the instigator, and then we never get caught with the cleanup. So it's like we instigate the war, we create the war, and then they come in and destroy all the buildings and steal all the children. The UN does, stealing children, and then or the Clintons, and then they have China come in and rebuild, and then we get stuck holding nothing,
Exactly.
and it's bankrupting our country. So like that's first and foremost is the whole plot for the current Biden regime is to bankrupt America and to make Americans, you know, poor. The key is to make us the poorest country, one of the poorest countries in the world, and that's what they want to do through superinflation. They did the same thing in Venezuela, and they're putting us in proxy wars. I mean, the first
Right.
proxy war was what, Ukraine now for this year,
And then the second proxy war is probably going to be between Palestine
and
and
Israel.
Israel.
And the thing between Palestine and Israel has been going on for centuries. It's a very long, long war. Muslims and Christians, or Muslims and Jews. So the issue is that they continue to fight on and off, and if we fund one or the other, that means that we're initially like pushing death and destruction.
Right. We are pushing death and destruction. And you know what? It's coming to our front steps.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing is that when Biden wants to go ahead and release 6 billion to Iran, and it just so happens the day before all this stuff goes down, he makes a statement about all this stuff going down and then deletes it. So there's a lot of evil things going on.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think that we need to have people with honor and integrity to step up and to remove the current regime and to set America straight, to set the course straight. Because if we don't have somebody do it, I feel like we're gonna be in a really bad state.
I figured currently that our government isn't the best to lead this war, isn't the best to put us in a situation where we're funding both sides. Now, I'm coming to the conclusion that we need a clean house before we do anything else.
Yeah, well, it's not just a conclusion; it's the hard facts. I mean, how can we be jacked up? And when I mean jacked up, everything is messed up. We have open borders, we have fentanyl that's killing a lot of people, and it's going to projected to kill a whole lot more. They said somewhere into the billions
Billions.
or millions. I think it might have been the millions.
Probably the millions.
And we have homeless problems, we have veterans not being taken care of. There's just so many different things going on,
And you just talked about hyperinflation.
and that's what this 6 billion is going to send us further into hyperinflation. Further. So it's a bad situation altogether.
I mean, a good example of how this hyperinflation works is look at the prices of Costco goods 2 years before and compare them to now. You'll see a difference of about 75%,
Yes.
meaning that hyperinflation has put us so far that we are above the market that we had 2 years ago, meaning
Yep.
that our currency has inflated more than 75% on all areas.
And then it's going to go further if we have more
And don't
wars.
let me even start on gas.
Yeah. Proxy wars, and you want to it's ridiculous. So it's another way to just bankrupt the country further. And this isn't just a plan. This is a world plan. These are the world leaders that are these are the Charles Schwabs, the Bill Gates, the Soroses. These are these people that have, okay, well, we're not going to fund Ukraine. All right, let's start another war that they will fund to make it further on down, to push us further economically down. Here's what I say. Is that a Jewish flag?
No,
Is that a Palestinian flag?
definitely not.
Now then, I don't want to send money anywhere but here. American money needs to stay in America for Americans. And that's Americans all across. Well, what's your definition of Americans? Anybody that lives here, that's been paying taxes, that's been that took an oath to, uphold the Constitution.
And I do believe that you're correct. That they are there to uphold the Constitution and our own rights, in their own rights. And considering
What? Sorry.
and considering our current hyperinflation, we are put into a war against the Middle East. And as I know, gas increases everything. Gas is the transport of food and all the goods that we have, and in turn, those drivers need to get paid more because those gas prices are going to get higher. Now,
who's the number one for gas right now? Russia. Who's number two?
the Middle East.
The Middle East.
And we're about to get into a war with the Middle East.
We have a dog that's teething over there. And he keeps making those sounds. I hope it's not catching up on the camera. But anyway, yes. It's going to be more in the Middle East. And can you take that bone or whatever he has away from him right now, please?
Yeah.
What is he chewing on? Take everything away from him, please. That's the whole video. That puppy's just chewing on stuff.
That must have been driving
Put
me
it all the way
nuts.
down, otherwise he's gonna whine. Oh goodness, it was driving me nuts.
You know what? We should actually talk a little bit about Rowdy.
Oh my no. Okay, we'll talk about him because he interrupted for the whole time.
Not the whole entire time.
The whole time.
The whole
I heard
time,
him the whole
actually,
time.
The whole time.
It was driving me crazy. I just wanted to yell, dude, stop!
Now he's a mix between a pit bull and a what again?
Lab.
And a lab. The best mix he can get for a rowdy dog. I mean, goodness, he is hyper, but at the same time smart.
Yeah,
it doesn't help.
It's not a good combination, and he's aggressive. He's hyper aggressive. He barks at the neighbors. He's nipped at Maddie twice or 3 times or something like that. He only listens like to alphas. Otherwise, if you're any type of beta, he's gonna run over you.
Right, really quickly.
Really fast. It's the hardest dog I've ever trained in my entire life. He's got to be the hardest dog I've ever trained.
And we didn't even pick him.
No, he was given to us by a friend. It was kind of like a breed restriction thing, and we're like, I guess so. And I literally was like, oh, I'll give him back when I'm done training him. And they're like, no, it's okay. They knew.
They knew.
They knew.
They knew.
They were like, this dog is gonna be a lot, and he is a lot. Oh my goodness, he's so much.
Now let's get back to topic.
Okay.
What was that dollar bill that you have up there?
The buck stops here, baby.
The buck stops here.
Joe Biden needs to stop. The money stops here. He needs to stop. It needs to come back to America.
And that saying started with Truman.
Yeah, you know more about that
Only a little
history-wise
bit
right
more.
now than I do. But yeah, we need to make sure that American money stays in America. We fund American businesses. We take care of American people. We take care of, and I mean, American people. We're a mixed bag of people.
Right.
We're a mixed bag of religions, right? That's why if you have the Jews and the Palestinians, if you guys want to fight, take that stuff back over there.
But if you guys want to make peace, take that here.
Here, because we don't choose to hate one side or the other here. You want to do that, you go somewhere else to do that. You don't do it here.
Exactly.
This is America, and we try to have tolerance for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand? Even if we don't like them and we don't agree with them, it's still our value to respect them. And when you start disrespecting, woo, that baby cat powder. Give me some baby powder, baby. But woo, put it on there and then slap. All right. Better ask somebody.
You know what's ironic? Joe Biden used the same exact quote.
For what?
The buck stops here.
Joe Biden did?
Joe Biden did.
When did he use that?
He used it for his campaign.
Oh, yeah, of course he steals everything.
You know what?
Everything.
It is so ironic because he's the one that's sending money to Ukraine. He's the one that's pushing everything so far with his own administration.
It should have been the buck dies here.
Exactly.
The buck dies with me, America. That's his whole thing. The buck dies with me. I'm gonna make your dollar worth a cent. By the time Joe Biden gets done, I mean pesos will be worth more. I'm just saying.
I hope not.
Look, let me ask you a question. All this money going to all these other countries now for all these other things going on when we have our southern borders that have mass amounts. They were saying like 22 billion or 22 million a day or 21 million a day, right? Or 21,000, was it 21,000?
It's probably in the millions.
So they're like they recorded like 24 million, I think, in one single day. And let me ask you something. Can you tell the difference between an Iranian and a Mexican or Guatemalan?
Oh, 24,000 immigrants a day. No, not at all.
Can you? I can't. I don't know. Like, I don't know who's a jihad and who's a Jorge. But then we find out that, Jorge could be smuggling drugs and children. And we got the jihad. He's coming over to blow shit up. I mean, and then they haven't even been tracking them. So we don't even know where they're going, where the cells are going. I guarantee you that the CIA knows. Somebody knows. And they need to do soft target hits right now on those guys and just wipe them out. Like, just wipe them out, because we know what they're going to do. We just do preemptive strikes in America. So if they're getting together and from the southern border, then we need some black ops teams to go in there and beep, 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 and then we just dig graves and
get rid of
them. Like, that needs to happen. Then we need to have the FBI, the DHS, the what do we have? DHS, the FBI, the CIA. They all need to get together, and they need to round up all the illegal immigrants and vet them, figure out which ones we want to have stay here, and then get rid of the criminals. Because from what I hear, they've like cleaned out the prisons in Guatemala. So like all they sent over here were prisoners. Trump was like a prophet. He was like,
they're gonna send over the prisoners.
Yeah,
bad men.
You're not gonna get the best.
Oh,
you're gonna get the worst. You're gonna get the rapists. You're gonna get, and he was right. You're gonna get the murderers, because that's what's coming over right now, and they're doing that because they want to demoralize us. They want to have attacks on police. They want to defund the police. Did you know BLM now supports Palestine? Like, how you're literally supporting the people that love the Nazis. That's the other thing that gets me is look at the connections. Look at the connections, okay? Let's take
I
it. Let's
think
take a step
I
back.
think those connections all point to death to America,
Well, not
which is
just
a saying over there in
Iran,
exactly.
but no. Let's look the old guard. All right, the old guard. We're going to go back to the Nazi Germany. I know you don't like me saying Nazi, but hey, I'm saying it.
No, I'm fine with it. I'm the one that called they were all doing this stuff
So you have
along with you.
Ukraine is what they have the Azad group,
Hmm.
right? You have Palestine. They hate Jews. Well, last time I checked, I don't think the Azad groups like Jews either,
Yeah, I think they
right?
both didn't like him.
But then you have BLM, who is supposed to be Black Lives Matter, which, by the way, from what Joe Rogan said, was most of those protesters were white.
Hmm.
When at one point, when you have like, it's hard for me to believe that somebody that is a Black American that is going to support the side that hates Jewish people.
You know what's interesting?
I don't get that because like where do you think they're gonna stop at the Jews when they're done? They're gonna turn around and be like, hey, thanks, but you're black, you're not one of us, and they're gonna just wipe you out too. It's the ignorance is like
If they're gonna do
it's
it to one group, they're gonna do it to another and another and
yeah,
another.
they'll be like, thanks for your help, bang bang, right in your back. Like,
Hmm.
dude, the only flag that anybody should be flying in America is the red, white, and blue.
Because that represents everyone.
Everyone here, freedom.
Exactly.
And
But
like you said,
if we want freedom, we got to stand up and talk.
yeah, not just talk. Yeah, that's our first line of defense is to be able to tell them, hey, we don't like you. We don't like what you're doing. So stop. And if you don't stop, we got the second one that's coming. You don't want to bring out that second one. Let's talk about the first and let's resolve the first. And that's just what it comes down to. And like I think you said, that first step is going to be here's what I believe. Biden's walls are closing in. They've caught Anthony Fauci for the vaccine. He's caught red-handed with the Wuhan lab and Ukraine. Then you have the Burisma stuff with Biden. Then you have what else do we have with Biden? What else? Oh, he's sending money to Ukraine,
Hmm.
right? So we have the proxy war,
Yeah, the shell companies,
the shell companies, and his.
bribes as well.
It's funny that the walls are closing in and everybody sent the indictments, and then they removed McCarthy. Everybody went on vacation for a week until Monday, and then all of a sudden the strikes happened. I don't believe in like just things just happening.
You don't
This was
believe in
planned.
coincidences.
This was a plan.
Woo.
This was a straight up plan by Biden so he can create a big turmoil in order to get the public to sway into another war, right? And it also takes the eye off him and all his bad dealings and all the bad things that he was doing.
Hmm.
So when that happens, right? It's like, oh, well, look at this. Don't look at what's going on here. And then once this kicks off, oh, this is way more important than the corruption over here, right? And that's what they're
You're
going
right.
to do.
And earlier you talked about how immigrants are coming in. Now, considering that, some of them might be terrorists.
Mm.
Now, when a terrorist attack starts occurring in America, and a whole bunch of them occur one after the next in every state, right? And the president says, "Oh, we can't handle it," right?
Yeah.
So he asks help from who? His best friends, which is what?
NATO, UN.
And the UN.
Yeah. They're
And the
going to be
blue
like,
hats start coming in.
and then it's going to be terrorist organizations and blue hats versus Americans.
And that's the worst that could happen.
Yeah. Yeah. That is the worst that can happen. The best that can happen is that we can get rid of the guy,
Hmm.
right? But as soon as we remove him, that's when the terrorist attacks are going to start. For real. As soon as we remove him, that's when the terrorist attacks start. And it's just and then once we do that, then the terrorist attacks, then the blue hats come in, then they calm everything down. First of all, if a blue hat shows up here, it's not going to be good for them.
Yeah, the blue hat's gonna fly off.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
we don't like blue hats. We don't need you in our country. Stay out.
They make good
Kids
targets,
kids go missing when those people show up. I want nothing to do with them around.
There's a reason why populations where NATO come in, there's a whole bunch of
UN.
riots that occurs. Oh,
UN. Yeah, the
NATO,
UN.
not UN.
Same thing.
Definitely.
Same thing. But same difference. But it's just one of those things that I we see what the steps are,
Hmm.
but we need to make sure we set trips up for them, and so they fall down the dang stairs, so they miss a step, right? And the more they miss a step, the more that we say, hey, we see what you're doing, we know what you're doing, we're ready for it, we're gonna spank you, and then we're gonna come at you hard, right? I know that's kind of weird saying.
But it's all right.
We're gonna spank you and come at you hard. We're gonna beat you. We don't listen. It does scare me a little bit because there are a lot of chai sipping, latte drinking pansies out there.
Who won't fight for our
They won't
countries.
even fight for their girlfriends, let alone their country. They'll be like, "Oh, I love Palestine. Just please don't leave. Oh, I love. Oh, please, I love the blue. I love the UN. I love globalization. I just want my Starbucks." Oh God, dude, I can't stand those people.
I don't think I could either.
But you know what? I'll have to fight for them because they're not going to fight for themselves. The only thing that you have to remember is that people like that aren't to be trusted because they'll turn easily.
Hmm.
They'll be turncoat quick. You know, they'll turn around and be like, "Oh yeah, they're hiding over there in the field." Those are the ones that are gonna do things like that.
They're going to be lukewarm. So what do
Yeah,
we got to do?
like Bill Biden, spit them out.
Right.
He's playing both sides. The reason why he's doing that is because he wants us to pick off into a bigger war.
And to
You
leave
know?
him alone.
Yeah. So then nobody will go after him and his bad dealings. So it's kind of like, that Dave Chappelle skit where he's like, where he said something. He's like, "Oh, there's nukes in Iran." Knocks over the water and runs out of the room. That skit. That's kind of what Joe Biden's doing right
With
now.
Obama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Right.
It was an Obama skit, I think, wasn't it, when he did it? So yeah, and Obama's part of it. You have the Clintons,
Black Bush.
the
Black Bush.
oh yeah, Black
Black
Bush.
Bush.
Black Bush is
Black
Black
Bush.
Bush. You're
That
right.
was it.
So you have the Obamas, you have the Clintons, you have the Bushes, you have the Bidens, you have the Pelosi's. There's a whole slew of guys. There's probably 222 of them, or 202 of them.
202 of them.
202 of them that went back and they all got together and like, we got to figure something out. We got to figure out a way to bankrupt this country because these people don't want. What do you think is going to happen when a war pops off? You think you're going to be able to run and hide?
No.
No. First of all, the accountability train is going to come for you whether it's sooner or later.
Because you're the leader.
It's period. The fact is that if it doesn't happen, if they don't get you now for the evil stuff that you're doing, they're going to get you later. And there's nowhere you can hide.
And I think this has happened throughout history, such as Mussolini.
Yeah, people ripped him apart, right?
They did.
Saddam Hussein.
Ripped him apart.
The dictators don't really get the best of treatment when the people finally get a hold of them. I mean, if we look at this, we got lied to about the jab, the jibbity jab, right? I don't know how many people were lied to about that. Luckily, nobody from our family has passed away from it that I know of yet, because then I would be on a war path. I would go on a war path. It would be bad, right? It would be hard for people to, yeah. What? There's a lot of stuff up here.
Okay.
So
Other than that, what other things? There's been inflation,
super inflation.
right? There's also been lies about our current elections.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. And that they're coming out with stuff every day about that too. And that's
day.
Every day. It's getting deeper and deeper. And they had a deal that said mainstream media, and then it said conspiracy theorists, and it went on a checklist of everything that conspiracy theorists were right about. It's not a conspiracy when it's true. And then you have propaganda media that's just saying, whatever, you have to say this. They're saying, go get the jab, go get this. Oh, if you don't, you're going to be a super spreader. And then you should be put in a camp if you don't take it. They literally put people in camps in Australia. I heard Australian parliaments, There's ladies in Australia that are going off right now. I don't. It's not good,
Mm-mm.
and the
Not at
people have
all.
spoken worldwide. It's just in America we have this bread and circus, right?
Yeah.
It's football season. Everybody's watching Mr. Pfizer get his jab. Mr. Pfizer, the King Pfizer on the Chiefs, or they're watching football instead of paying attention to, hey, you're getting backdoored by illegal immigrants that are sleeper cells here in America, and you're just not caring.
Hmm.
You don't care.
You're not being a good citizen.
No, and the thing is when
Is it ignorance?
it's not, it's okay, it's not ignorance, it's just denial.
Denial.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's never gonna happen here. We're America. Everybody loves us. This is the greatest country in the world. No, no, no. A lot of people hate us, and we've created a lot of wars in their homeland, and they've had to watch their mothers and daughters die, and now they're coming, and that's the cold hard truth. Like, wake up, because do it before it's really too late. Because I honestly think it's close to being too late. And I'm the guy that in the first, when I grew up, I had a coach. His name was Les Holgren. His son became a sheriff, and he was a Marine. And the only reason why I say he was a Marine is because he passed away. Because you're a Marine until the day you die, and even then, I'm sure there's a spot in heaven where they're all like, we're Marines, and they probably got their favorite color crown to eat and all that stuff. But anyway, he used to teach me, hope for the best, or hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. Prepare for the worst and hope for the best, right? So that means the worst that can happen right now is that we are already invaded, and that these sleeper cells are going to start blowing stuff up, or they're going to start attacking people like they did in Israel. And that's right here in our homeland. So we don't need to send money anywhere. What we need to do is bolster our security and our forces here in America, and we need to start cleaning house. Now, hoping for the best, hope that somebody moves in with a little bit better brain other than Biden, and a better cause for America, instead of flushing everything down the toilet and flipping the country upside down. That's what we can hope for. We can hope for that the three little agencies that we've been paying our tax dollars to actually step up and clean house, like you said.
Right.
That's the best. And I can hope that we'll wake up tomorrow morning and I'll be able to walk my dogs and kiss my wife, go to work, drop you off at school, and everything will be cool all day.
Without the.
But I prepare. I prepare.
Right.
Yeah, but I'm prepared to wake up at 3 a.m. or 2 a.m. and have my ready to rock. You know what I'm saying? So I can't say I'm trying not to say too many cuss words still. And the other thing is, if you're sitting around and playing video games and not getting in shape and not preparing yourself for war on a daily basis, what are you doing? What are you doing? It's only going to lead yourself to a faster grave. Get up off the couch, go get some training in. Now's the best time to go get a gun. Go buy a gun. Even if you don't like guns, you better go get one. If you're that coffee sipping douchebag that doesn't want to get in fights and I just want, well, you're gonna get run over first. You're gonna be the first ones that they take out, because you're an easy target.
Right.
They're beheading people right now.
On video, as
Yeah.
a matter of fact.
Yeah. My whole thing is they're already here. They're already here. They had the group in front of the White House.
They did.
A Hamas group in front of the White House.
In front of our capital.
They have them in Canada right now. There's a dude in Canada. That dude that covered his face, I think he's one of the top terrorists that's on the list. Like, the way he was talking, the way that he was showing himself like to be a leader, he is one of the major or main guys that's gonna what are you gonna say? He's one of the guys. I believe he's one of the guys, like the top generals, that's going to tell people where to hit.
And he's gonna impact
and he's in
us pretty
Canada.
hard, isn't he?
Oh, he's in Canada right now. We just watched him on YouTube. The CIA knows. They know. You could tell he was a leader.
Mm-hmm.
No joke. There's bolstering in his voice. This isn't his first time that he's riled people up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it only emboldened them even further when we left all of our weapons in in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
So that just made them think that's a win for them because we pulled out. They won.
Same thing with Vietnam.
Except in Vietnam, they were like, okay, we're done. Y'all are done. Leave us alone. These guys aren't going to leave us alone.
No.
They're coming for us.
We
They're
didn't
coming
draw
for
the line.
they're coming for our wives. They're coming for our daughters. They're coming for our sons.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have any sons. You're my son. But that's what they want.
Right.
So you have to be, when you're in school, I need you to be vigilant. We already have a spot that if something goes down that we go to,
right,
that we meet, even if phones are down, that we rendezvous, and then we go from there. I suggest that all parents do that with your kids if you haven't done it already.
Mm-hmm.
Prepare your kids for the worst possible thing to happen, but hope for the best thing to happen. And that's how we should go through life. It shouldn't be a scared thing, but be happy for each day that we have together, because you never know when you're going to wake up and you might see somebody, parachuting down from a plane with a gun, and you're like, wait a minute. I played Duck. What is that? What was that game on Nintendo? I can't remember it.
Is it Duck Hunt?
Duck Hunt. Yeah, I played Duck Hunt before.
All right, yeah, definitely.
Listen, it's just we have to be vigilant. We have to be aware of our surroundings at all times. Like, make sure you're always checking your surroundings. Always look up. Don't be looking at that phone.
So
look around.
expect the worst,
but hope for the best. Yes,
and
absolutely.
That's the message we want to end today off with.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And thank you guys for watching our podcast, our viewers that we do have, all 8 of you. We love you. I think there's probably
we can count on our hands.
Yeah, but it's cool because hopefully you guys will like and share it, maybe even talk about it.
And I would start actually acting and making those little videos I'm supposed to make.
Well, he wants to make more shorts and stuff, so it would give him a little more motivation to do so, I think.
Motivation, yeah.
And sometimes it's good to be motivated. I don't get motivated by likes. I really don't. I'm old.
Well, you tell me it's all about dedication.
It's all about being dedicated. It is. Keep on keeping on. And I love you guys. I love America. I love no matter what skin color you are. I don't like communism. I don't like sending money to other countries. This is the only flag that I give a crap about right here. The red, white, and blue one. And with that, bye.
We'll see you on episode 54 on Thursday.
Yeah. Yeah. Bye. How long?